What is up? Welcome to Train Sim World 4. Finally, we're going to take a first look, go through some of the settings, have a look at some of the features, start off a couple of runs. I don't know how many we're going to do, but we're going to give it a go and just see what the general feel of TSW4 will be like. Now, I'm going to give a bit of a background on my personal experience with the game. So if you just want to get into it, feel free to skip a bit further down into the video. But for now, um, I did record and stream quite a bit of content if you've been around on the channel of Train Sim World 2 and had a great time with the game. And then 3 was announced. And I wasn't incredibly excited only because 2 seemed like such a fine game in itself. Of course, there was a lot of bugs that needed ironing out and, have a sort of deeper look at. But overall, I felt like the game ran well. I was running quite a few mods, so it was a bit annoying that I had to kind of get rid of some, wait for some to be updated, go through the whole installation process, which fortunately doesn't take long anyway. But we're going to have to do it once again for this one. Um, but I didn't necessarily feel like I wanted to get involved with 3. As a matter of fact, I haven't played it for a few months. I did no content on it. I didn't record any gameplay. I didn't stream anything. And I just felt like it just wasn't really making me feel engaged and excited. I love trains, but I'm not an expert on trains. I'm not, I'm more of a car person than trains. So for me to be engaged with a train simulator, it as much as it will take quite a bit of realism, it also needs to sort of have a, I don't want to say a fun factor because I'm someone who will kind of like, I'm a diehard person when it comes to realism and simulation, but it just lacked something. I can't really put anything on it, to be honest. I can't put a word to it, but it lacked just that bit of oomph to make me want to do anything with the game. And I ended up sort of having to find my own reason to play the game, which was to just work my way through the routes. And I was doing so, and then I even just got bored of that. The last route I played was a Rosa line, and although it was quite an earlier route, I still was able to have a bit of fun with it. But then it got to a point where I couldn't really get past. And I know this is a Rivet thing, not a Dovetail Games thing, but I couldn't get past a lot of the small bugs that were about the scenery, which is very much a known thing when it comes to Arosa line, wasn't up to par. And you can run a route once, you can run a route twice, and ignore a couple of things, but when you're going back and forth, it just gets a little bit much. I'm somebody who works through the journey. I'm a journey person, and that's what we'll probably be taking a look at today. Try and do the East Coast mainline journey mode. So I like to be faced with scenarios with something exciting, something different. But and this is very true for a lot of the older routes, when it's just constant timetable routes, leave that for the timetable. If I wanted to run a constant timetable, I would sort of go to the timetable mode. So it's a little bit of a shame, but we'll see how I feel about Train Sim World 4. So yeah, I guess without much further ado, let's sort of take a look at what we have in front of us. So currently on the homepage, as we can see by the highlighted top left section, and this is absolutely identical to what I remember from Train Sim World 3. We have these 4 sections. I think we're missing a few. I haven't touched Train Sim World 3 for a few months, but I'm not aware of any changes to the UI. And so I believe there's 1 or 2 things missing, but that could just be down to the fact that this game is still in not early access. Actually, no, it is early access. Yeah, it is early access, and that means that all the other routes from previous iterations of the game aren't yet included, not until the 26th, I believe, which is when the game fully drops, either the 25th or the 26th. And so that might be why some sections are missing. But other than that, exactly the same. My profile, I couldn't find my Train Sim World 3 profile for whatever reason. I've imported my stuff from Train Sim World 2 to 3, and that didn't seem like a difficult task, but I couldn't find anything from Train Sim World 3. I only had my Train Sim World 2 stuff. So what I basically had to do was head to my save games folder, and this might be something that you would come across. I had to head over to the my games folder in my in documents, and I just copied and pasted all the files. So I hope that doesn't break anything. I did have the God mode mod, and there was a file for that, which got moved also into the Train Sim Mod 4 folder. So far so good. It doesn't seem like anything's been broken. But I guess we'll find out and just play with our fingers crossed. But thankfully, as you can see, level 312, I did manage to sort of, keep myself up to date with regards to the previous progress I had. So we have our train sections where we have our current trains that are available. The class 323 from Birmingham Cross City is now part of the training center, hence why it's there. I don't actually have the Birmingham City Line DLC. For our routes, as you can see, we just have the four regular routes that come as part of the deluxe edition and the training center. So as I said previously, there are no previous content DLC routes until the official release date. We also have route tasks. Now, this is new to me personally. I don't remember seeing this in the previous Train Sim World 3. So this is just an overview of the different route tasks. So the maps that you find. So these are all basically, I wouldn't call them objectives, but yeah, route tasks basically. I mean, it's done it itself. Which I guess is a bit of fun, a bit of deviation from driving the trains themselves. So I know people are very split on whether you need something like this in a simulator, but I mean, I can't really say much. I've just spoken about Train Sim World 3 missing the extra oomph. However, Train Sim World 3 also has route tasks, and I did do them on the routes that I did, but I just didn't feel like it just gave me something to look forward to. We also have a couple stats here. Favorite train and favorite route. Again, I believe these are the way they are just because the game is early access. So that is that. Dovetail Live is just the online section, I guess. We have Creators Club, Photo Gallery, which is new, and I do look forward to seeing what we can come up with. Real Fan TV for Dovetail Games' streams and the videos on their YouTube. We have our mastery. Again, I'm assuming there won't be much. So interesting. So yeah, so this does actually show the routes for the game, even though they're not actually routed at the moment. But that is the mastery progress section. An area to enable the rewards. This is still pretty much the same, other than of course the photo gallery, which I don't believe. I know you could take regular screenshots, but I don't remember if there was a section in the Dovetail Live section to view those photos. I guess we'll see now. So yeah, so I'm assuming this is specifically for photo mode, because I have taken a number of screenshots and there's nothing here. Dovetail Store speaks for itself, of course. And our settings. So I'm gonna take a look at some settings. I won't bore you guys to death with that. And if I find anything of interest, we will meet there. As a matter of fact, I thought we'll go through it briefly. Substats will be on. A default movement will be a run, just to speed things up when we're about. Crosshair visibility, let's make that 50%. I wonder if that's the size of the crosshair. Crosshair visibility is an interesting way of putting it, but I'm pretty sure this is just the size of the crosshair rather than, because visibility almost makes it seem like you're messing with the opacity or the transparency of the crosshair, which isn't the case unless that's been changed, but I don't remember that being the case. Auto hide crosshair, let's turn that on so it doesn't stay on the screen. Lightning effects on, I don't know why you'd want that off. Arcing sparks on as well. Normal HUD, I know the HUD's been changed. For now, I'll keep it as normal, and I guess when I have a little bit more time with the game, I'll sort of cater that to cater the specifics to my liking. Show score, no thank you. Show current speed limit, yes please. Controls, I don't think there's going to be much that's different. You got your very long list of controls, whether you're on a keyboard or a gamepad. Advanced controls if you are using a rail driver, which I'm surprised is still in beta. I'm a bit disappointed that I don't even own a rail driver. So HUD and gameplay, disable junction derail. Let's turn that off. I would like to derail. That is realistic, of course. Objective marker, let's keep that on. Stop marker, turn that off. I really hope they fix the issue where the stop marker would turn itself on every time you started a new route. It just seemed like such a silly thing and such a quick thing to fix, and it's been mentioned again and again on the forums. I hope that's been tended to now. Cinema marker, let's turn that off. Next speed limit marker, we don't need that. Next cinema marker, we don't need that. Next cinema aspect, I would like that. Next speed limit. Oh, interesting. So now you can show the next speed limit on the HUD, not just the current speed limit. That's interesting. I will keep that off for now. I feel like that would be a bit too much hold handy. Although some of the stuff I've ticked already, you know, depending on how kind of strict you play, might already seem hold handy to you. Next speed limit HUD, yeah, we said off. Next signal on the HUD, we said off as well. I just feel like, as well as sort of it being hold handy, it may also be, well, cause the screen to be very cluttered. And I don't really want that. Track monitor, I actually don't know what the track monitor is on. So basically, let me also sort of give a little disclaimer. I haven't seen any of Dovetail Games' streams. I'm somewhat active on, not active on the forums, but I do creep a lot. Let's call it creep. So I read a lot of stuff that gets put on there. But I don't remember seeing anything about the track monitor. So I'm going to have that on for now. And hopefully I'll be able to pick that out when we start driving the train. And from then I'll decide whether there's something I'd like to keep or not, I guess. This display safety system helper, let's turn that off for now. I trust myself. I mean, we're gonna do the East Coast Main Line. I'm pretty familiar with UK trains and their operation. I don't feel like I'll need that. If I do, I'll turn that back on. Camera motion sway on, 100% yes please. Immersion camera switch, let's keep that head out. Measurement switch, let's make that Imperial. I believe that's Imperial, the one I want. Imperial distance units, let's have that in feet, please. Let's have this in key. Can we do? All right. I don't know the difference between a long ton and a short ton. Let's make it a long ton. Degrees Celsius, please. Gradient units. What did I have it before? I had it as a percentage, so let's keep it like that. Steam firing mode. That should be automatic, I believe, due to the issues currently going on with Steam. Although I don't see myself playing with Steam anytime soon, to be very honest with you. Menu music is off. Let's see. All right, let's have that like 30%, I guess. Why not? Just to sort of have like a back-end track almost. Dialogue, we'll keep the 100%. Ambience 100%. Yeah. That seems all good. Screen, I've sort of sorted this already. Settings, I have everything maxed out. I will be interested in seeing how the game runs as well. I haven't got any FPS display, but I'm going to rely on just my feeling. I know how Train Sim World 3 felt, and sort of have something to go off. The issue is I'm running a completely new route, so the first time stutters are to be expected, if I'm being honest. That's just the way Train Sim World's been. I don't know if it's an Unreal Engine thing. I guess it is. But the first time you run the route, expect stutters. However, if they continue once you're running the route or the same part of the route again and again, that's where we have an issue. So this is what I play on usually. On the menu, we are keeping a steady temperature on both the CPU and the graphics card. I don't know if the capture is capturing those stats, which is great, because there was a time when the audio's getting a bit too loud for myself. Let me have that on 15%. That's better for myself. So as I was saying, where was I? I don't remember what I was saying. Never mind. I was saying whatever. Right, stuttering. No, I was talking about the stats of the... Yeah, so I think it was Train Sim World 2 or the early days of Train Sim World 3. I'm pretty sure it's 2 though, where the menu itself would just... The menu itself would be running the CPU at the max speed, which was interesting. Clearly that wasn't right, and I'm glad that's been rectified now. Player assist. I don't need any of these. Although, realistically, junctions, although they're manual, I'm going to turn that on, because in reality, you would have somebody, from what I've been told, you would have someone changing the junctions for you. You wouldn't do that as a train driver yourself. Now, I don't know whether that varies from country to country. However, again, as far as I know, the driver isn't in charge of changing the junctions. So I will keep that on for the sake of realism. Dovetail live settings, that's fine. Alright, well, that is the end of the setting section. Now, I would say, again, like I said earlier, I like to run journeys. So let's start with the East Coast Mainline journey and see how that goes. The Quick and the Shed. So I'm assuming this will be involving the high-speed train. I don't know exactly what class it is. Class 801. And the 66, of course, nicknamed the Shed. So let's do an introduction and just see what we feel, see how I react, I guess. I'm interested to see the loading times as well. Interesting to see what the voiceovers are like. I know it's only an introduction, but let's have a look anyway.
In this training module, you'll be learning how to drive a BR Class 801 electric multiple unit. During this brief introduction, you will be taken through the critical driving controls and performing passenger operations. When you are ready, climb aboard.
You know what, I will say this livery is gorgeous. I'm not too familiar with these trains myself, so I'm talking from a very specific point of view, but it does look great. It does look great. I love the details. On first feelings, I guess. I don't know. First things I realized was that the training center seems to be exactly the same, so nothing new there. Let's head into the game. So yeah, graphically, we shouldn't expect anything different from Train Sim World 4. We're running from Train Sim World 3. We're running on the exact same engine. The tail light seems to just disappear there. The tail lamp, which is a bit odd because it's still quite a bit in view. and then it just disappears as we move. Now remember, I'm running this game completely maxed out. So, yeah, that's an interesting one. Let's get into the train anywho. Again, pretty much what we already know.
Take a seat in the driver's position so that you can prepare the train for service.
Pretty much your standard British train cabin. This is quite reminiscent of the Javelin, which makes sense.
For this introduction, you'll be completing a full loop of the circuit and performing passenger operations when you reach the next stop. Prepare the train for departure.
We've got a nice little screen here.
To unlock the control desk, you'll need to insert and set the master key. The reverser is used to determine the... Set the headlights, as this will let others around you know that this train is operating. To begin loading passengers, you'll need to open the passenger doors.
I'll tell you what, I really do miss the God mode mods, because what I instantly wanted to do there was adjust my field of view, my FOV, and I couldn't, unfortunately. So yeah, I really look forward to the mods coming back. But so far, I mean, I want to say so far so good, but really so far so normal. I believe we've located the track monitor.
It's time to depart. Close the passenger doors. This train features a combined power and brake handle. So to get the train moving, move the handle into the power range.
Alright, and now we're moving. So yeah, I'm assuming the track monitor is going to be something like what we have in Train Sim Classic, where it will display... Well, I'm not sure what it displays actually, because it just says 1.25 miles. And I'm not sure what that distance is. Whether that's to the next next station, whether that's to the next objective, whether that's to the next signal. We just have 1.25 miles.
Coasting is a method used. Keeping to speed limits is important. If you begin overspeeding, apply a small amount of braking force by moving the power handle into the braking range.
While we are here, how do we do photo mode? Right. So let's give this a go. I know we're bang in the middle of an introduction scenario. So let's come up about here. Actually, you know what? No, let's prepare a little thumbnail. How about that? How do I? All right. So we got E and Q to lower and raise. Right. That's a decent height, I think. And the controls are it's exactly the same as being in the cab. You right click to be able to have the ability, should I say, to move the camera freely, and you right click again to lock the camera in place and have the cursor pop up. So depth of field, we have as our first option. Our focal point. We have a rotation. All right. So I guess if you wanted to spice things up a little bit, it's just like some of a promo shot. Let's leave that at 50% though. Let's leave that completely still. I wish there was a way to click the percentage and enter a number yourself. I feel like that would save a lot of hassle, especially if you want a specific number. Yeah. You know, it's interesting. They have a field of view option in the photo settings. Um, what is stopping? What stops Dovetail Games from adding such a feature to the just to the normal like driving experience? Yeah, let's go. Let's go up close. We can also change some color settings as well, but this is something I'd rather do in Photoshop, really. But at least they gave you the option. And spacebar to take a screenshot. Oh, that's pretty good. Why is it not? Why has it cropped some of the picture? As you can see here, it's so the border's almost at the roof of the train, whereas in the background over here, if you can see it through the blur, there's quite a lot of space still. In that case, let's discard this. Let's is it decrease? No, let's increase that field of view a bit, and let's give that another go. That's a little better. That's a little better. Well, I will take it. Let's upload it, I guess. I don't know who's going to want to see it. I don't think that's going to be interesting to anybody. But we've uploaded it. Jesus.
First introduced in September 2019, the Class 801s were built as a replacement for the aging Intercity 125 and 225 sets, which were the primary trains used on the East Coast Main Line at the time. The Class 801 fleet were designed as purely electric multiple units. However, they feature a single 560 kilowatt diesel engine fitted to one of the coaches for emergency use. This 9-car variant of the class has a maximum power output of over 4,500 kilowatts and has a maximum operating speed of 124 miles per hour.
Now, from what I remember, that maximum speed is electronically limited. Apparently, from what I've read, this thing can really go. But I guess, of course, safety first and whatnot, so it does make sense that they would limit it, as they do with cars. Our track monitor still shows 1.25 miles. I still have no clue what that distance is for. With station coming up in just under 5,000 feet. I see that they still haven't sorted out the distance. It still seems like this is a as the crows flies distance rather than the track distance, which is a shame because they can do it with the signals, they can do it with other little things, but unfortunately for some reason they can't do it with the objective, the marker distance. Let me adjust my distance. Is that in HUD? Yep, should be there. Let's make this yards. Yeah. Feet was a little bit crazy. That's a little bit crazy. So yeah, I think it's definitely a big shame that they haven't figured out how to appropriately distance, show the distance between yourself and the destination, especially when you get into routes such as like I remember Sandpatch grades.
You're now approaching the station, so prepare to slow down the train.
It was really annoying.
Use the power handle to apply some braking force to bring the train to a gentle stop in the indicated position.
Seems like they've got a new icon for the station. That's nice to see. I think my brakes a little too hard, and there we go, a stop marker in a scenario introduction. They still haven't sorted that out. Dovetail, come on, man. Come on. I know it's a very minor issue, and it truly is a minor issue. So why doesn't it get fixed? It's a minor issue, so why doesn't it just get fixed? Ugh, it's annoying. If you turn it off, it should stay off. I don't know why it forces itself back on. Right, I'm not familiar with the braking power on this train at all. So it's going to take some practice.
Now that the train has stopped, you can open the passenger doors.
Would be nice. I'm assuming here on these monitors you'd have a camera showing the doors. And it would be nice, I guess, to even have a static image. You know, I mean, we had that in Train Sim Classic.
Good work. That concludes all the basics of operating this train.
3 achievements. That's decent. Oh, here we go. So this is a very much different from what we had in Train Sim World 3. So before, we would just have this, as far as I'm aware, on the right side with the 3 different levels and the key statistics. Whereas now we actually have a whole score breakdown which shows in detail your how well you did. I'm a fan. I really am a fan of that, and I guess this is where the platinum medal comes in. So that's really nice to see that they've touched on that. That was something that quite a few people complained about. So it's nice to see that Dovetail paid attention to that and did something about it. So I love this. They've brought this back. Oh, I am so glad. Oh my God. You guys have no idea how much I've missed this. So this was once when the save game was taken away, the option to save the game in Train Sim World 3, the option to load the last checkpoint, of course, as it was based on a save, was also gone. And so if you hadn't saved the game manually and spadded, went past past signal at danger, you were finished. In Train Sim World 2, this would save your behind. If you didn't manually save, that would save your behind. I am so happy to see it back. Thank you, Dovetail. Thank you, Dovetail. We're going to head back to the main menu and call it there. That was literally a first look. We're going to take a few more dives into the scenarios for the East Coast Main Line. They should be coming tomorrow, hopefully. I'm hoping to stream as well, so feel free to be part of that as well. I'll stream simultaneously on both here and on Twitch. You can message me or find me on the forum if you somehow, for whatever reason, have a reason, feel the need to do that. But for now, that was literally an absolute raw first look. Like I said, I haven't watched any of the streams. Haven't seen it. I've seen barely any pictures of the game itself. I've seen a lot of pictures of the routes and the trains, but not the UI. But I think overall, my first impression is decent. We have a few changes. Were they worth a new iteration? That is a very hot debate still to today. I think not. However, I understand it from a business point of view. And of course, as a business, you're going to put your business interests first. So I won't get into the politics of that too tough. Maybe we can do that on stream. But yeah, I would say, yeah, like I said, I think decent is the best way to put it. I think it's decent. That's yeah, because it's more or less the same with a few added features, a few added extras. So I don't think I can say much more than that. You're of course free to make your own judgment on the game. Let me know in the comments how you found it. I'd love to have a conversation. I've had quite a few on previous videos. I'd love to have one for Train Sim World 4. I'd love to be taught because there's so much for me to learn with regards to the game and the game content. So I'd love to, you know, get involved with that. But for now, I'm going to leave it here. Thank you very much for watching. Let me know how you found the video. Let me know what you think of the game yourself. Have you pre-ordered the game? Will you pre-order the game? If so, what version will you be pre-ordering? I'd love to know. I'd love to hear from you guys. But for now, I'm going to leave it here. Thank you so much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you guys soon. Take care.